what they're doing. It's live. It just did it, I think.
Yeah, we're on.
So yeah, we should be good. You can start that one. Okay.
So you do you once a week? How long?
Once a week.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hour-long show once a week?
Hour long. I think it's, what it takes to do a couple of hours every day. I mean, I couldn't do that. I would need a staff.
It's like, it's like anything, though. You get used to it after a while, believe it or not. You get a routine down.
Well, that's where I'm at now. And I have interns that help me do some of the research, which is great. And then we do a little writing. I try and get them involved. Like, I don't know if you have interns or whatever, but I let them get on air.
Right, good. That's all the more motivation, reason they should come an intern.
Right, and I try and give them a little gas money, and I let them get on air, and I help, I said, okay, you know what, if you can go sell airtime, go ahead, I'll pay you.
Right. That's a great experience.
Let's write up the package. I said, you want to take a crack at writing? Kristen's awesome with the video and audio editing, so she did my sizzle reel, and she did the first one, and now she added in because I had Hal on right before Christmas, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
And so I said, okay, let's get that in there. And you know what? I've had so many people on this show, like broadcasters. Art Ekman's been on. He interviewed Mickey Mantle.
I did not know.
Oh my God, it was a great story. The first time I had him on, he told me, I said, do you ever interview anybody great? He goes, his idol was Mickey Mantle. And he told me the whole story. It was an awesome story.
That is a great story.
So I've had a lot of people on, and the only person I really sweated with was Hal. I was like so worried about, because I love it there. I go there all the time, and I'm like, oh my God, he's like king. You're like king of the restaurant world in Buckhead. And I was like, oh my God, it's Hal. I've had Caitlin Pratt, Stephanie Fisher, Ray's been in here.
Stephanie's great.
She's awesome. I've had Ray Giudice. I've had Tim Andrews. I've had a lot. 2 minutes. I've had Art Ekman.
Ray. I was just
talking Steve DiFilippo's been in here.
Davios, huh?
Yeah, there's a Boston boy.
Yeah, that's about as Boston gets.
Besides me.
Yeah, exactly. Present company is.
Well, I'm gonna say Steak has wavered.
Yeah, he doesn't know what side. He's playing both sides of the fence right now.
Yeah, I'll go on here saying that.
That's funny.
I know. I give him a hard time.
Everybody does.
I've had entertainers in here. Jerry Farber.
Oh, Jerry's great.
I love Jerry. Jerry's been on. I've had comedian Scotty K, Deb Bowman, David Scott. Hey kids, look who's here. It's Nick.
Hi. Good to see you, everybody.
All right, if you have any questions about sports, don't ask me. I'm making it all up. Ask him.
I don't know anything either. I'll fake it, though. Fake it till you make it.
Yeah, that's no kidding. No kidding. Well, I have to say I've been briefed by my Boston boyfriend. Oh, I forgot about that, huh? Okay, kids. Okay. Where's everybody going to watch Super Bowl? Tell us. Hi, Vanessa. How you doing, babe? Great seeing you last week. Thanks for coming out. Here we go. Like a Fifth Avenue diamond. They don't make you like they used to. You're never going out of style. Just Steph Show. Right here on Love 860. And featuring Living Atlanta. Hey, this is Steph Palermo, and it's the Just Steph Show. Everybody has two lives. The second one begins when you realize you only have one. We are second lifers. We're empty nesters, newly single, and those starting over age 3. Your healthy, happy, hip years are just beginning. The bat phone is connected, so give me a buzz to chat today, 404-355-8699. Tell me what's going on in your life. I want to hear from you. Oh my gosh, we have a great show today. We're talking Super Bowl with Nick Cellini. Hey.
Hi, Steph. Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to have you here. I'm, because I'm all ready.
Yeah, I'm trying to overlook that Tom Brady jersey you have on right now.
I know. Well, thank God that all the radio viewers can't view. All right, so we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. This is life on life's terms, and we're talking Super Bowl, food, fun, and football. So yeah, I'm so happy you're here.
Food and football. You had me.
I know, really. See? I know, it's like you had me at hello.
Exactly.
I know. Show me.
That's my equivalent, food and football.
No kidding. All right, so you know what? My show is a podcast on iTunes. So you'll never have to miss a beat. So
perfect.
Yeah. So tune in, subscribe. And also, if you want to know anything that's going on in and around Atlanta for Second Lifers, you can subscribe on my website. It's 99 cents a month. You'll get a free e-book, download of my book, and you get to see everything that's going on. All of the calendars are pulled into one place. It's juststeph.com. Go to Living Atlanta, subscribe to my calendar. All right, so what did you do this weekend?
What did I do? I watched a lot of Pro Bowl football. I watched a lot of my son hitting a baseball, my 7-year-old.
Yeah.
I'm not like you. You get out and about. My life's boring. I live vicariously through you. I mean, I watch you all of the time. I read everything you put up on social media, and I wish I was beside you, so I can't be there, but it's the next best thing.
Oh, so yeah, so you're just watching so that you can almost experience it all.
Right, exactly. You're all over the place.
I am.
You're at places I've never even heard of. I don't even know they exist, and there you are.
Well, that's why I'm the queen of leisure.
I know. I understand.
Yeah,
that.
there we go.
A well-earned title.
Well,
Steph.
I have to say, I had a friend in from Boston last weekend, and I just dragged him all over the place. We went to Hal's, of course. We had a great dinner there.
How can you not?
It was awesome. And then I actually sat on the panel of the Great Love Debate. Brian Howie was my guest last week, and we discussed the question, why is everybody still single? So that was fun. That was at the Punchline, and I was part of that panel. We had a lot of fun with that. And then we headed over. Have you been to Monty's?
I have, yes.
Yeah, so we went to Monty's late night. We were entertained by Monty himself. It was hilarious. It was a lot of fun. So Friday, I took him over to Mary Mac's Tea Room, my mom and I, and we had some fried chicken and did all that stuff and had to have a nap.
When your relatives come down from Boston, what do they think of Atlanta? Their first impression of the town.
Well, really what happens is they go to Hal's. I mean, that's what happens. I take them to Hal's, and they love it. So they like that. But,
That's a great first impression, going to Hal's.
So, yeah. Can you get any better than that?
No,
really?
Probably not. No place to go but down.
Yeah. Well, the only way is up, baby. That's my book. So, and then we ended up at Whiskey Mistress for a little party given by John Seifert, the mayor of Buckhead himself. Saturday, we ate a little bit at the Corner Taqueria in Smyrna, went to Atkins Park for the Oyster Fest.
Right.
And then we went to KR Steak later on in the evening. That was fun.
Now, how do you keep your figure going all these places?
I'll tell you what, well, I'm on a diet now. I totally packed it on. And then Sunday I went to Basil's for brunch and then over to King and Duke for another cocktail before I had to drop them off at the airport. So the eating and drinking has got to stop.
You say that all the time, and yet it never does.
I know. You know what? It's just I work out every day, but I can tell that I put on weight, especially with Christmas. So, yeah.
An Italian Christmas time,
yeah,
that could be a lethal combination, Steph.
It's crazy. So listen, I know you posted something on Facebook a little bit ago, and that's what prompted me to talk to you to come in, because you said something about like a year ago you were, driving Uber and doing whatever, and we know that you had a rough patch about now you're back doing what you love. So
sure.
Can you talk a little bit about your journey?
Yeah, I mean, over the past couple of years, I think I appreciate the job a lot more. You know, we did a radio bit. We used to work, me and Steak Shapiro and Chris Domino, on a station called 790 The Zone,
Right.
and you know, we just did a bit that it was ill advised. It wasn't a good idea. It went sideways quick, deservedly so. We lost our jobs. And to this day, we reach out to Steve Gleason and the Gleason Foundation and the ALS Foundation of Georgia and Atlanta, and we try to make it right. I mean, it's just one of those things where you can either go one of two ways. You can feel sorry for yourself, or you can do something about it to try to better yourself and the situation. And I think we've all done that. And like I said, we're all working at 680 The Fan now, and I think we do have a new appreciation of this business and what it really means to us. I think when you do something for a long time, no matter what it is, you initially had that love for it. You start doing something for a reason because you have a passion for it, you have a desire to do it, and it's something you look forward to every day. But I think over time, no matter what it is, and we were together for 20 years, I think you become jaded and you don't appreciate what you have. And then once you lose it all and you hit that rock bottom moment, then you realize, hey, I had it pretty good, and you go back to the original reasons as to why you started doing the job. And I think that's the place I'm in right now in my life. I just love what I do. I appreciate what I do.
Right. So, I mean, it's got to be tough because when you're in radio, there's that fine line between what's funny,
sure,
and then what's painful.
Right.
So, I mean, how do you? I'm asking for me. Like,
sure.
How do you, just discern that?
I think if there's any question, if there's any doubt in your mind, don't do it.
Yeah.
If you have to think, and this is something that I discovered after we did the bit and after we lost our jobs, we all separately went to New Orleans, and I met with Steve Gleason's family, and I met with his father-in-law, and we toured the facility that he's building there. At the time, there was one in Boston and one in New Orleans, the only two facilities in the country where you can live as independently as possible as you are dealing with ALS. And he said, we forgave you right away. It created publicity. But then what you don't realize is at the time, I think Rivers, his son, is 8 or 9 now, but at the time he still needed to be held. And his father-in-law said, we have to do that for Steve. He can't do that. We set little Rivers on his lap. And those are the things when you're thinking about, and you're in a little studio like this, and you're thinking about just trying to be edgy and trying to make people laugh, those are things that don't enter your mind. I can tell you those are things that enter my mind every day now. You have to know that there's a person that you're talking about, and these people have families, and it's something that doesn't enter your mind. Like I said, when you're sitting in a little studio, you don't realize how many other lives, for positive reasons or for negative reasons, that you're touching.
Right, and especially that as a dad.
Sure.
I mean, and I see you on social media with your baby doing all that sports stuff and all that. Yeah. Well, I mean, I totally understand that because, I spoke at Rare Disease Day a couple of years ago here in Georgia, and they were talking all medicine and all of that. And what happens is they forget in the medical world or wherever you are that we're more than a bunch of cells. There's hopes, dreams, aspirations, feelings, a past, a hope for the future. It's all of this. We're people with hearts. And so I think that's what you're trying to say, is that it isn't just about, something obscure. It's about a human being with, that's struggling.
Right.
And that's the same, it goes across the board with any disease or anything that anybody is dealing with, whether it's physical or psychological.
Sure. And, going back to Steve Gleason, who has been such an inspiration to so many, including us, what he did to break the ice with us was really incredible. I reached out, emailed him, as I said, drove to New Orleans. He was in Washington, his home state at the time, and wasn't in the city of New Orleans when we went there. But I met with his brother-in-law, met with his father-in-law. As I said, about 2 weeks later, he sends me an email, and he says, I appreciate what you did meeting with my family. One of my associates is going to be calling you. If you can give me your phone number, he'll be calling you if you're okay with that in a couple of weeks. And we can maybe get together and do something in New Orleans somewhere down the road. So I get a call about 2 weeks later from a blocked number, and it's a really bizarre conversation that I'm having with this person. And he's talking about me wrestling a lion. He said, that's okay, you'll wear a cod piece, you can wrestle a lion, You can jump out of a plane. You won't have a parachute, but the person that does have a parachute will catch you. So after a while, I start to think to myself, okay, I think maybe a website, somebody's goofing on me.
Right.
I'm being punked. So
Right.
I politely end the call. A couple of more times, I get the blocked number calling me back, so I don't answer the phone. And eventually, it's not a block call that calls. And it turned out, this is Steve Gleason's buddy, Tony. He said, we've been doing this to people for years. We've been pranking people for years.
Ah.
And then Steve got on and said, look, we figured it started with a prank. Let's end it with a prank.
Right.
All is forgiven. It's water under the bridge.
Nice.
For him to think of even doing something like that, trying to break the ice with me, tells you what type of person he is. And I will tell you, I learned more from that exchange and more from dealing with the Gleason family about being humble and understanding big picture, the power of forgiveness than
Right.
I think I've ever learned in my life.
Well, it's funny that you bring up forgiveness. I find that if you have to forgive somebody, it still has power over you. And I think when you're in a predicament like that, you know, I think that you realize what's really important in life.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And to carry on with anger and all of that, that's probably, I mean, I'm just guessing. I don't know him, of course, and I don't know all of what you're telling me, but you know, I just know for myself that when somebody does something that you is seemingly wrong and hurtful, it really, if you hang on to it, it's more energy.
It takes, yeah, you're right, Steph. It takes energy from you.
Right.
It saps you of energy.
Right.
And I think that if you follow him on social media, he is so self-effacing and he says so many funny things.
Right.
I think that helps him deal with the situation, helps him inspire others. And I think it's a positive message that everybody can learn from.
It's interesting, you know, sports figure, you know, Lou Gehrig. I mean, it's interesting that in this day, I mean, ALS is just a horrible
It's terrible.
Disease.
It's terrible, and I didn't know anything about it, or at least not enough about it when I went out there and did what I did.
Right.
And I believe me, I learned a lot about it afterwards.
Right.
Trust me.
Right, and you do some fundraising and all of
Yeah,
that.
we do our best. They do the ALS walk every fall, and we try to get out, my family and I, and participate in that. And I will tell you, so many people in the ALS community. Bernie Satola is a realtor. He lost his father-in-law to ALS. His mother-in-law is a Facebook friend of mine. She always reaches out. She's always one of the first people when we see each other to embrace me. And Chris Domino, who I worked with, said something years ago that really struck a chord. He said, the people that are dealing with this don't have time to be angry. They really don't. It's wasted energy. And to see, again, to use the term power of forgiveness, to see the way people like that have embraced me is something that I'll never forget and will always be inspiring to me.
Well, I mean, it's a great story because it really makes a change in you, and it changes your heart and the way you think, and in how many people you're touching by telling this, and you know, having us all love and accept one another no matter what's going on.
Sure.
So I just want to have one quick question. I mean, there must have been people that were negative in your world that you had to sort of walk away from, that didn't stand by you. Now, I know that you have a beautiful wife, and obviously she stood by you through all this. Can you sort of elaborate a little bit on having those people that helped you get through this?
Yeah, I mean, my good friend, I talked about going to New Orleans. My good friend, we call him Big Ray. He's a big fella. He likes to have a few pops. He's been at Hal's a few times. But he said, look, we're getting in the car, and I'm going to drive you to New Orleans. You know, my brothers really rallied around me. My brothers both live in Atlanta. It was very important to have them by my side. My wife, who's a saint. I mean, she works so hard, and she's traveling all of the time because of her job, you know, to make sure that we're provided and taken care of, provided for as a family, I should say, you know, for her to deal with what she had to deal with and support me through it all. I mean, you're right. I mean, you find out who your friends are, and look, I'm taking all the blame. I was responsible for what happened. It was my bit, and again, I'll always take responsibility for that. But you know, you find out, you know, people really that you would least suspect, you know, people that are dealing with this situation in their families, for them to reach out and say, hey, it's okay, we understand, come and be a part of this, you know. It's incredible. It really is. The power of the human spirit, you don't realize it until you go through something like this. just how many good people are out there.
Right, and you need that support network.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna just talk a little bit about football and
Yes,
dating.
let's do that.
So we have some dating advice for second lifers, and this is the Just Steph rules of dating. All right, so I was thinking about this. I was thinking about the whole football field. Now, I don't know how it was for you growing up, but when I was growing up, first of all, my father gambled, and we watched. We ate dinner during halftime, and he had the TV next to the dining room table, and he was clicking. You know, he was clicking,
Sure.
like turning the knob.
Absolutely.
And so,
for those that don't know, they didn't have remotes.
They didn't have
back then.
clickers. Girls are all involved. I mean, I'm the one, I'm the typical Italian. Like, if I'm hosting a football party, I'm cooking and whatever. I'm doing all my thing. But I want to sit and relax and be with our friends. So it's kind of fun how things have changed. So the girls are right involved. Now, what do you think? I think it sort of has to do with, especially down here, this whole SEC.
Yeah.
I mean, my sons one's Alabama, one's Georgia. The girlfriends all participated in all of that stuff. So these girls want to be part of it.
I think that's the biggest difference, growing up in Cleveland, Ohio, that I noticed when I've been down here 20 years now. And that's really the first difference. When you go to sports bars here, I think a lot of times you have, how do I put this? I noticed that you have women in there that are into the games. You would think that they're in there to
socialize,
to pick up guys, or at least meet guys, or get phone numbers, what
right.
have you. But they're there to watch the games. And a lot of times they know more about football than you.
Right. That's interesting.
In Cleveland, it was like, all right, we'll go watch the game, but you go with the guys and we're going to go home,
right.
or we're going to go do our own thing. Here, you're right. It's basically men and women together watching and rooting hard for their teams.
Right. It's amazing. But I think in Boston, it's still a little separate. I think, the girls and guys do things a little separate.
I agree.
I don't know if it's my ethnicity. Maybe I'm not hanging I'm in the hood. I'm with all the Italians,
right.
when I go home. But, they could be a part of the city that's like Buckhead or something that, where they're all hanging out like the young yuppies or something,
sure.
the hipsters. They're all hanging together. But
skinny jeans.
Yeah.
I can't get one leg in those skinny jeans. I'm jealous.
I mean, it's so funny, but I think down here it's kind of fun because it's exciting, especially this whole Falcons, this Falcons thing is so great for the city. I mean, I think it's awesome. But, I go and hang out with the Falcons meetup. It's all dates and, I'm there by myself. I'm there with it's like 20 couples and me.
But it's great for the radio show stuff.
I know.
Think of the show.
I know. But I mean, it's fun. But see, I would rather cook and do all the dips and all that stuff, and and then I got to make my baked macaroni and meatballs. Who's coming over?
Do you cook all night?
You mean all night long?
If it's a big meal, let's say it's Easter, it's Christmas, are you cooking all night like my mom used to do?
Well, what I do is I actually start early in the week.
Yeah.
And it depends on when, I start, like Easter, I'll be making my regatta pie and my strufelies and all the stuff for desserts a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
And then I do a few things, that can stay, but then the stuff that I like.
So you know how to budget your time. My mother never budgeted her time. She would just, go in there on Saturday afternoon and cook all night. And my mother would never eat with us. I don't know why. Is that an Italian thing as well?
I don't know. Was she serving?
No, she just would.
Did she sit down?
No, she would always be moving around. Her and my grandmother, who lived upstairs from us.
Yeah, they were serving.
Yeah, they would never sit down and eat.
That's how I was raised.
Yeah.
I mean, not so much. I mean, we all sat down as a family. So
right.
my mother did sit down, but we served the men. That's what happened.
Right.
And
maybe she did sit down, but it seemed to me like she was always moving around. Maybe we were all,
too busy eating.
Yeah.
But
spoiled pigs that we were.
I mean, that's how I am now. I mean, even when I go home to Boston, if I'm cooking, for my friends and stuff like that, I totally am. I want to cook. I want to cook.
Sure.
I want to do my thing, and it's sort of that nurturing. I'm the mom.
Yeah. Right.
I'm the mom. No matter what I do for work, I'm the mom, and I want to cook, and I want to take care.
Right.
And when I'm in a relationship, I do that too. I mean, I'm like, okay, what do you like? And I always know what people like to eat, and I that's one of those things I always remember. That, oh, so and so likes strawberry shortcake. So and so likes, they like this, like that. That's how I roll. I mean, it's part of who I am.
It's part of the culture.
It's part of my culture, and it's part of and I know all my girlfriends at home. Down here, I'm a diamond in the rough when it comes to the food.
Right.
But up there, I'm just one in a million.
And you know what? Again, it's something you take for granted. It's something you take for granted growing up. But I think about it all the time. We lived in a double house. My grandmother lived upstairs, and I would come in the side door because we had to seal up our front door in the wintertime. That's just the way it was. It was so
plastic on the door and on the couch.
That's right. We did not use the front door, and there was plastic on the couch. But I would come in the side door, and I would know immediately, was it pizza? Was she baking pies? Was she making cookies? It was awesome.
Right.
And it's stuff, when you're growing up and you're just a part of it, you take for granted.
Right.
And then you really appreciate it as you get older.
Well, especially when you move away.
Yep.
Because when I go home to Boston, I mean, that's how we eat. I mean, that's what I do. Even when we go to the restaurants are a lot like what we would eat at home.
Right.
I mean, there's things that you just can't get here. And I mean, for eggplant, like, I want eggplant.
Where do you get eggplant down here?
I make it. I mean, I buy it in the store, I make it, I make it. And, so I love eggplant. But, no, I don't even know where you can get eggplant down here. I haven't had eggplant down here. Now, I know Davio's does Robbie. But, I mean, I love broccoli Robbie.
Mm-hmm.
But really nobody does it better than, like, R2 in Boston and the North End. Like, it's just, it's unbelievable. Yeah. So, I mean, I love it. And that's what I get when I go. I'm like, okay, we got to go get Robbie. When I go home, I get Robbie and eggplant. It's coming on my ears.
I don't blame you.
So, yeah, I mean, you get like a Robbie and sausage sandwich.
Yep.
Oh, God.
Yep.
And it's on nice bread, like a spucky. So.
You love my brother. My brother is a chef. My brother loves to cook. He'd be right in this conversation with you. I mean, he'd be so into this conversation right now.
I know. I always end up talking food, no matter what.
He'll be watching sports, my oldest brother, Jim. He'll be watching sports, and he'll go through the channels during one of the commonals, and all of a sudden, it's on one of the cooking shows. And I'm like, dude, there's a game on. Can we go back to the game now? And I appreciate the fact, and I love eating your cooking, and I appreciate the fact that you appreciate it, but again, there's a game on.
So, I mean, do you think that affects relationships nowadays? Like the fact that the women are not so domestic?
I don't think it does. I mean, I think maybe for guys that are my age, 49, 50 years old. But see, my wife is a career woman, and I know that we would not have what we have if it wasn't for her. Maybe I'm the exception to the rule. I don't know. Maybe the millennials feel differently now about their wives working. I just know that there's so much more to life if you have a passion. And I know that you want to be a good mother and raise a family. If you have a passion, you've got to figure out a way to do both. And I think you have to support one another. Now, look, it's much easier said than done, but I really think you have to support and really encourage someone to follow their passion.
You know what, I'm going to agree with that because when I was back in November in Boston, I visited my college, my alma mater. One of my professors, we were talking about, me speaking there and talking about my book and just getting caught up. And I said to her, I have one piece of advice: don't stop working. Because, and I say this, and I love my kids, and I made a mistake. I should have worked.
It's a hard thing to do because you do feel guilty. My wife is traveling; she works in the world of NASCAR, and once the Daytona 500 starts, she's on the road a lot, and it's a tough thing to deal with, but. It's her passion as well. And I think you have to figure out a way, like she has, to balance the two. Because as you said, sooner or later, you're going to regret things. You're going to regret not following that passion. And sooner or later, that will affect others around you, I think.
Well, it's funny about the whole regret thing because I've worked through this in therapy. I don't have regret. However, if I were to give advice to young girls, I would say, do something, because no matter what, the kids are going to be gone at some point.
Yep.
And then you're looking at your spouse or whoever you're with, and you're saying, what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
What do I do? And I had such, I did management communications. I did some radio broadcasting in school. And it's like, what am I going to do? I mean, what am I going to do? I'm not an accountant. I'm not a lawyer. I don't, what am I going to do?
And you have to have, and again, therapy, speaking here, you have to have time together, because if you live for your kids, as you said, one day the kids are going to be gone, and then you figure out, we don't have anything in common. This is not the person that I married. We are different people now, and sometimes, unfortunately, relationships and marriages end because of that. Again, I'm no therapist. I'm just telling you what I've been told.
Right. No,
a few years of talking to therapists myself, by proxy.
I agree, but even if you're, as second lifers, if you're out there dating, you need to maintain your individuality and, and what you love to do and your job and all of that, because then you bring it to the table. You bring this all to the table, and it's not about, because I said this, once I got divorced, I said, okay, I am never going to be dependent on another man.
Right.
I want to do my own thing. I want to do my thing because I want to have something for me. And it's not even about the money. Obviously. Obviously it's not about the money. There's not a lot of money in radio.
No, there's not. Trust me on that one.
Yeah.
Thank God my wife works.
Yeah. Can she support me?
That's why I love you, honey.
Yeah, there you go. So, I mean, but I think that needs to stay. You need to have your own thing. You need to, and you know what's nice? I mean, it's so funny because my Boston guy, I was talking to him about football, and he was like, well, 2 weeks ago when the Patriots won and the Falcons won, he's like, what are you going to do on the radio show? What are you going to do? And so he's been talking to me for 2 weeks about this stuff because he knew you were going to be coming. I told him about you.
Sure.
And so we've been talking about this, but that was nice. Like I had something to share, on some where you talk about this with, with somebody you care about, and you can get some feedback, and it's nice. I mean, if I didn't have this, I mean, besides talking about eggplant palm, what would we talk? It gives you.
It's not a bad thing to talk about, actually.
I know,
I'm a little hungry right now.
I know.
Come to think of it.
All right, so we're going to take a short break, and we come back more Nick Cellini and the Super Bowl, and this one is for the birthday peeps. DJ, Vinny Dice, Dave Scott, Doug Martin, and Lizzie Baker. Happy birthday, Karen.
Happy birthday.
And this is not as much as football. So yay. All right. All right, so who's here?
I have an issue standing on my computer, but you would be better off looking up there. I've got comments down here.
Hey, Lewis. Oh, my mother's listening. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
And Chris Pinson, sorry, Nick, as a Saints fan, that's one of my many reasons I can't root for the Falcons. Steve Gleason didn't deserve what you all did.
Yeah, listen, he didn't. I can't argue that.
Okay.
I appreciate your honesty.
Yeah, okay.
He's right.
Hi, Trisha. Hi, Vanessa. Who else is there? We got likes, shares.
Hi, Dad.
Oh, your dad's watching?
He liked it.
Oh, your dad liked it. Yay. Hi, Tony Cole. How are you? We'll be talking about Band X later. All right, what else is going on? All right, so we got people on Instagram. Hey, Denise. Kristen, you're on.
Right.
I don't know who that is. All right.
Jen,
go. I don't know who that is. I can't tell with those call names. Whatever. So, anybody else? All right. So there we go. Yeah. So that was good. I'm sorry that all happened. I mean.
Listen. It was definitely a terrible thing, but you have to just try to make the best of it. And there's people that aren't. And Chris is right. There's people that aren't going to want to ever forgive. But that's that's life.
Well, that's up to them.
That's life.
That's
I understand that. I understand the frustration. I get it.
That's whatever. I mean, to carry that.
Well, all I could say is, I reached out to the Gleason family right away, and they were like, "Look, we know it was a stupid bid. It was a dumb joke, and we get it." So,
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Everybody has their own way of dealing with it.
I have to say, as a radio youth, I actually when things happen here and they go wrong for me, or like one time I was on here and I almost fell.
Oh, really? You just got to laugh about it, you know, or
Well,
make light of it. Or
I was like, oh my
do your
God,
best.
I was like, you know, and so, well, I think about Steve Harvey giving the wrong girl the crown, and I go, all right, this isn't so bad.
Right.
You know, it isn't so bad. He was on national television, you know, and,
Exactly.
and I love him. I mean, he's awesome. So, you know, I think everybody, and who isn't into reality anyway? I mean, everybody's watching reality TV. You might as well.
And half of that is scripted.
I know.
A lot
This
of
is
people-
reality right here.
A lot of people will tell you there's no such thing as reality TV.
No, but this is reality.
This is.
Right here. This is real life.
This is our reality.
This is your reality. It's my reality.
No doubt about it.
So, and we'll talk about how, I'm going to ask you where you're going to watch the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Super Bowl later on during Living Atlanta.
Yeah, it's a good story to tell you, too, as a Patriots fan. I think you'd appreciate the story.
Okay. Did you appreciate my little, see now that was the text when I said you got to work.
Yeah. You've gone too far. Unless you're going to work.
Are we on? Okay, well, Sky was into the song too much. Okay, oh. Yay, okay, so we're back. I hope you I went a little country today on the music, which I don't normally do, but I had to get the football music in. I thought it'd be fun.
Sure, why not?
So, and it's my show and I can pick what I want.
It is your show.
It is. This is why I like.
You're the boss.
That's right.
I try to tell my wife all the time, you're the boss.
All right, so here we go. We're going to talk Patriots Falcons. So this is courtesy of my digging, information digging interns and the stack man. Okay, so the Patriots are making their 9th Super Bowl appearance.
Yep.
While the Falcons have only had 9 playoff wins.
That's correct, yes.
So now the experience of being in the Super Bowl, does that matter?
I mean, it's Tom Brady. It's the mystique of the Patriots. I go back to what Moose Johnston, who played fullback years ago for the Cowboys, said. Buffalo went to the Super Bowl 4 straight times, and they lost 4 straight times. And I believe it was their 3rd straight appearance, and the Cowboys were making their 1st appearance. The young Cowboys with Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith and Michael Irvin. And they scored 50-plus points on the Buffalo Bills. Everybody assumed experience would be a major factor. And don't forget, when Tom Brady and the Patriots, when they won their first Super Bowl, the Rams had already won a Super Bowl, and everybody thought the Patriots were going to get run out of the Superdome that year. Didn't happen. So experience sometimes doesn't mean anything in big games like this.
Right. So now Atlanta's red zone defense is the worst in the league. What are they going to do? Well,
they've gotten better. Statistics can tell you anything. It's good. You acted like that. You thought of that off the top of your head. That's good. It's impressive. I think, though, they've gotten better. When you look at their performance over the last, 6, 7, 8 games, you've got 4 rookies starting on defense, and they've gotten better and better and better. So while those numbers don't look good, I think if, again, you look at what they did to close out the season, they're playing as good as anybody right now. It's about peaking at the right time, and I think that's what the Falcons are doing right now.
So now, this I know is the Falcons' offense is better than the Patriots, but yet the Patriots' defense is better than the Falcons. How do they face up man to man?
It's going to be a very interesting matchup because the Patriots have the number 1 defense in the NFL. The Falcons have the number 1 offense in the NFL. But the Patriots have like the number 3 offense in the NFL. So it's not like Tom Brady and company are schlubs on that side of the ball. I don't know. I mean, I think the one thing the Falcons can ill afford to do is fall behind, 10-0, 14-0, because then all of the pressure is on them, and then Tom Brady pretty much can do whatever he wants because
he rules.
Because he's Tom Brady.
Because he's Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And he's the king.
The man hasn't aged. Matter of fact, he looks younger now than he did when he first came into the league. I don't know how he does it, but God bless him.
And he looks, oh my God, he looks so good.
But let me tell you something. If you hung out with Tom Brady, I mean, you can look at him and you'll be impressed by looking at him, his mere presence. You won't have fun with him.
No, he's boring.
He doesn't have any sugar in his diet. You know what his big cheap deal is?
Tell me.
Avocado ice cream. That's all you need to know about Tom Brady.
Yeah, there you go. I know he's out. If I can't feed him, there's no fun.
Exactly.
For me.
I'm just trying to help, Steph.
I know. You don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to be disappointed.
No, you will be. Ultimately, you will be. It's like hanging around me. Ultimately, you'll be disappointed.
No, just stop it. Oh my gosh. All right, so listen to this one. Teams wearing white jerseys are 11-1 in the last 12 Super Bowls. The Patriots will be wearing white on Sunday.
Well,
that's an interesting fact. I mean, does it do anything? I mean, really?
All streaks have to come to an end. That's the way I look at it.
Oh, there you go. All right, so the Falcons, okay, so here we go. By Super Bowl Sunday, Matt Ryan will have gone 2 full months without any interceptions. His last interception was on December 4th. He has thrown 212 passes since his last interception. What do you think about Matt Ryan?
You know what scares me?
The BC boy, though.
Yeah,
I mean, let's face it.
They got to love him up there, right?
Oh, my God.
How can you not?
Well, they call him Matty Ice, right?
Yeah.
Matty Ice. I heard a couple people up there have jerseys that say Matty Ice. So, they're not haters.
They're
haters down here.
They want the Patriots to win, but they won't feel bad if Matt Ryan plays well and the Patriots still win.
It's BC.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like we all still love Doug Flutie.
Sure.
He was a senior when I was a freshman in college. I mean, it was like Doug Flutie was like Doug Flutie.
He put Boston College on the map,
no
football-wise,
kidding.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and what was his name? Gerard Phelan caught the Hail Mary, right? I know that because his sister lived at the end of the hall at Regis College, Gerard Phelan. So I knew that stuff. Yay.
The pride of Regis College.
There you
Steph
go.
Palermo, everybody.
Right, there you go.
Gerard Phelan's sister.
Yeah. So, yeah, because actually I went to school right down the street from BC. I got into BC. I didn't go because it costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's an expensive school, but it's a great school. It's an unbelievable school. So, yeah, I mean, that's fun. I actually met Matt Ryan at New York Prime one night.
He's a great guy, isn't he?
He was very nice. I mean, I was with my husband at the time, and he goes, "Hey, BC boy," and he came over. And talked to us. He was really nice. Yeah, so he seems to be nice. I heard he goes to Hal's, too. He was there a couple of weeks ago.
He surprised a lot of people this year. I'll raise my hand. I'll be the first to tell you, I thought maybe the end was near for Matt Ryan after what he did last year and struggling in this offense the way that he did. But he proved a lot of people wrong. Good for him. He worked hard to change the way he did a lot of things in the offseason, and it's paid off.
So going back to my boyfriend Tom Brady, if he wins this Super Bowl, he'll have 5 rings, which will tie. Okay, who is it now? His name is Charles Haley for the most Super Bowl wins, but he's with 2 teams.
Right.
Tom will have. He holds the record.
Yeah.
So he's the greatest.
It's not Tom Brady I have a problem with. I don't like Bill Belichick. It goes back to our days when I was working up in Cleveland. He was a guy that, and again, it was his first head coaching job, and I get all of that, and I know how he can be with the media.
Right.
He was like that up there, and he wasn't winning. See, when you're winning and you act like that, it all works out. But
So
you're right, there's a lot of haters.
So he has like a little attitude. Is that what it?
Yeah.
Like a little. Is it elitist?
Yes, very much so.
Ah, okay.
Very much so. And some would say, he's cut a few corners here or there. Spygate.
He's, you know
Deflategate.
what? Listen, who had the goalpost that was bent? Was it somebody? I'm like, come on. They're all cheaters. No, I'm just kidding. No,
They're
you know
all
what?
cheaters.
They're all cheaters. No, here's the deal with that. Okay, let's just talk about that for 1 second. Let's face facts. Okay, the Patriots have won without any of that stuff, okay? But then you take the fact that they're playing a game. They're saying they deflated the balls. They were deflated. Okay, they were. Those officials touched the ball every play. Why didn't they say something? You can't tell me they don't know the difference because they've been doing this?
Did it have anything to do with them beating the Colts? Absolutely not.
Right.
Because once they figured out what was going on after halftime, the Patriots really poured it on.
Right.
So Roger Goodell, I think, painted himself into a corner, and there was just no way he was going to get out of it. I give Tom Brady credit for being able to play last year and holding off the suspension.
Right.
As long as he was able to hold off the suspension. In the long run, it helped the Patriots. When you're a great player, a great coach, the smallest things motivate you. And a guy like Tom Brady, it doesn't matter how much money he's making, a guy like Michael Jordan, any great athlete, LeBron James, once they get on the court, it doesn't matter. They're not thinking about the money. They're thinking about winning. They are motivated by winning. And the slightest slight, in this instance, Deflategate, it was a bigger slight, cost him 4 games. That will push a guy like Tom Brady to be even better, even greater, and you've seen what he's done this year.
And and I've listened to him speak, and he's very eloquent and very bright and humble. He seems to be. I mean, he doesn't have any. I listened to him on WEEI because I was I was informed that he was going to be on, so I said, let me tune in. And he was great because it was funny because they were talking about his dad. His dad was saying, talking smack, I guess, a little bit against Goodell and whatever the heck was going on, which, he's his dad. What are you going to do?
Right.
But he said, yeah, he's banned from talking to the media. Which
I
was
love
really
my
cute.
dad, but there's a moratorium now.
He said, he goes, my dad's, they supported me. I love my dad. He's the best guy in the world, but he can't talk to the media anymore.
Right.
That's it. So, I mean, he was really nice about that, and he was really kind-hearted and about all that. And he said he was going into media day or media night, whatever they have, before the Super Bowl, and he was talking about how, they were saying that the guys interviewing him was saying that there would be questions coming at him. And he said, this is what he said, and I thought this was really nice. He said, look, everybody has a family to feed and a job to do. These guys are doing their job. I have my job to do. They can ask any question they want, but I can answer it any way I want as well. So I found him to be very kind.
Right.
And he was kind about Goodell, too. I mean, and everybody in Boston hates him. Goodell.
Oh, I'm sure. He hasn't been back there since Deflategate. He said, if I'm invited, I'll go back. He said that yesterday as he spoke to the media. I don't think that invitation's coming down the line anytime soon.
Let me tell you something. Even if they invite him, he'll never make it out alive.
Right. You don't think so, huh?
No, God.
That's why he hasn't been back.
He won't make it through Logan Airport. No. He will not make it through Logan Airport. He'll get heckled. He might even somebody might throw some. I mean that. This is Boston.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll never make it out alive. He will, he'll have to go in covert.
There's a reason why he went to both Falcons games in the postseason and not Patriots games.
Yeah, well.
He's trying to downplay it, but yeah, I don't see him going back there anytime soon. But it will be very interesting to see him give that trophy to Robert Kraft, and then the next day, should Tom Brady win the MVP, because on the Monday following the Super Bowl, that's when the commissioner presents that trophy to the MVP of the game.
Well, they were talking about this on WEEI, where they said, listen, Tom, don't hug him. They were like they were like, no, you can't even give him don't give him and Tom was very sweet about the whole thing.
Right.
I mean, he was nice. I mean, you have to be, really. I mean, I guess he's been, he hasn't been nice, Goodell, about all this, but he, at least he's doing his job.
Right. Well, listen, it goes back to what we talked about to begin the show. There's nothing you can do to change the past. All you can do is try to move forward and try to make the situation right. And try to go on with your life. There's nothing else you can do. The past is the past.
Right.
There's no time machine. We can't go back and change it.
You can't unring a bell. That's what my mother always says.
That is true.
You can't unring a bell.
Your mom's watching right now, isn't she?
I know, she is watching, so
You're
thanks,
a very
Mom.
wise woman, Mom.
Thanks, Mommy.
I may call you Mom.
Yeah. You know what, before we take a break and go into Living Atlanta, I want to say something, because I know I've been like the whole Patriots, totally Tom Brady, but I have to say I'm so excited for Atlanta for this, for this opportunity, and if they win, to me it's all a game. It's all about the party anyway. But I think it's great, and I think it's great for the city. I think it's great for Matt Ryan. I am excited, and if they win, great.
You're in a house divided too, right?
I am. I have a couple of my kids. In fact, I was FaceTiming with my niece last night in Boston, and my son comes in, and my sister's piping in the back going, "Who you rooting for, Maddie?" And he's like, "The Falcons," and she's like, "Oh, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?" And so my son Sean is also a Falcons fan. So he used to be a Patriots fan. I don't know what happened. Maybe I don't know what, but yeah. So I mean, but it's all good. Like, it's all fun. I mean, I know it's hard work for the players, but it's a game.
You're right. It's easy to say that sitting here, though, but I know that we have neighbors that have a Super Bowl party every year, and they're big Patriots fans, and I'm kind of on the fence as to whether or not to go to the party, because I'm not going to be rooting for the Patriots. And we say it's only a game here.
Yeah.
But you have a couple of beers. Next thing you know, if the Falcons take a 10-0 lead or something, maybe she throws me out of the house.
Yeah.
As you said, you can't unring that bell, Steph.
No, you can't. All right, so we're going to take another quick break, and when we come back, Living Atlanta. This one is for Eric Doherty, Bruce Trovell, and Joseph Marietta. Thanks for liking my Just Steph and Living Atlanta pages. Drink in town with a football problem. Yay. All right. Yay. That was good.
Thanks. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm so excited. We're just going to do a little bit of. I'm going to ask you what you're doing this weekend.
Okay.
And then we just have a few minutes of. I'm going to just say where to go and watch the the football game.
Sure. Okay.
So yeah, so stay tuned, everybody. Hi, Linda. How are you? Bobby Donlin from New York.
Bobby.
Hi, Bobby.
I gotta go and see Bobby. I haven't seen him in forever.
I know.
Those 7-year-olds cramp your style.
I know. You gotta sometimes say no. You're not gonna. You can't go.
Well, it's getting to a point now where, and I'm sure you dealt with this. He'll get on his mother's phone now, or his grandmother's phone. She lives with us. He'll start texting me. Where are you at? I miss you. I love you. He starts working.
Oh, God.
It's unreal.
Tell me to bring him home a steak.
Yeah. Quiet, I'll bring you home a steak. That's what my father used to say to me. Quiet, I'll bring you home a bottle of whiskey. But Dad, I'm 6.
Yeah. How's the Chinese food in Cleveland?
It's really good. You know, it's similar to Boston, a much smaller version. You've got the ethnic neighborhoods.
Right.
And that's the one thing that I really miss. Not only the ethnic neighborhoods, but the neighborhoods in general.
Right.
You don't have that here.
Right.
But you grow up in it, and it's just something you take for granted.
Right.
You know, going back to talking about my grandmother, it's just something you say, okay, everybody lives their life this way, and then you realize they don't.
No, they don't.
You know?
I remember when I went to college, girls were saying their moms were not good cooks. I was like, what is that?
Yeah, exactly. I don't even know what that means.
I was like, how does that happen? You know, I mean...
I still can't wrap my head around that one. You're right. When I went away to school, I realized, yeah, my mom doesn't cook, and we don't really, we don't really do a lot on Christmas. We'll go to a restaurant somewhere and eat. I'm like, what?
I know.
My grandmother and my mother were cleaning fish
all
the
day
fishes. On Christmas Eve into Christmas Eve evening. You know what I mean? It was just, and again, you just assume everybody lives life that way, but your life is different.
And you know what I found was different too when I went to college? If we went out, if somebody hooked up, they were gone. Like with my girlfriends from Boston, like, no, we're like, you go out together, you go home together.
Yeah, no, you're right.
You know, there's more of that loyalty.
You're not going anywhere with him. You know who that guy is. He would be nuts, yeah, exactly.
Hey, Phyllis, how you doing, honey? How's Boston? See, go Pats. Rise up down here. Hey. Can't tell what their names are with these calls. You know, what's your name?
Who are you?
Who are you? So who else is on? Who else do we got on?
That's it.
That's it? Okay. That's all right. And I will post all this, and it'll be on YouTube.
Great.
It'll be on. I'll have all the links. I'll send them to you if you want them, and then you can do whatever.
Please do. Thanks.
And then we'll be on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes.
Good deal.
And I'll post all the links on Facebook, all my Facebook pages, Twitter, Google Plus, Instagram. That's where we'll be. We'll be all over the place.
You are all over the place.
So. Charlene, hi, honey. I miss you.
I like this song. You are going a little country today, huh? You are going country today. I like this song.
I know, it's not bad, huh?
No.
30 seconds. Yay. With a football problem. Do you need this? Are you going to help me out? Oh, you have your own. You have your own. All right, good. All right, kids, we're back, and you wanted to know where to go this weekend. You've been waiting for Living Atlanta. Don't believe me, just watch. All right, kids, so listen, when you go out this weekend, make a plan, drink responsibly, drive responsibly, call Uber, Lyft, a cab, a friend, leave your car at the valet, whatever you got to do, please do not drink and drive. You know, I'll miss you. So, if you go up the river. All right, so what are you doing this weekend?
I'm thinking about I got a couple of parties I could go to. First of all, after work, 1 to 4, we're kind of doing a Super Bowl preview show on 680 The Fan. So after that, my buddy has a huge Super Bowl party every year, and obviously he's from Connecticut, so he's a Patriots fan, but he's kind of torn too because he's been down here so long. He likes the Falcons, so there's a big party there. The problem is, in our neighborhood, we've got another Patriots fan who's going to be hosting a party, and our kids play together, and I'm just afraid that I might get thrown out of the house, as we said earlier. If I start openly rooting for the Falcons, I'm afraid. She's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, she may just throw
Where's
me
she
right
from?
out of the house. Yeah, somewhere up there in Massachusetts.
Ah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It can be rough.
I mean, there's Patriot flags all over the house, banners.
Yeah.
I mean, it won't be good. It
Yeah.
won't be good.
That's fun though.
And if my kid too is rooting for the Falcons, which he will be, he'll have his Julio Jones jersey on. You say now we'll be civil, but like I said, after a couple of beers and if your team falls behind, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows what'll happen?
My son has a Falcons dress-up day tomorrow, dressed down because he's at Catholic school.
Sure.
And I met one of the dads at the basketball game last night who's originally from Boston. He goes, my daughter's wearing a Brady shirt tomorrow. I don't care. I said, you know what? Good for her.
It's a question we had. It's an interesting conversation that we had. Do you, I don't want to say force, but do you, because you root for a team if you're not from here, it's a big transient town, everybody knows Atlanta.
Right.
Do you make your kids root for the team you rooted for growing up? And I grew up rooting for the Cleveland teams, but I've been down here so long now that I have an affinity for the Atlanta teams.
Right.
And my son, he kind of understands what Cleveland is all
Right.
about, the Cavaliers being the champs, but he loves the Falcons, he loves the Braves, he loves the Hawks, and
Right.
you know it's his time now to root for these teams. This is
Right.
what he's going to remember growing up.
My kids like the Braves. I mean, when I go to the Braves game, I don't care who's playing. I'm wearing my Red Sox gear.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I'm doing. But, you know, my kids have been to Fenway Park and seen the Red Sox play the Yankees.
Sure.
We've been to spring training down at Fort Myers. I mean, you know, we've done all that. We've done their dad has tickets to the Falcons and the Braves, so they got to do all that stuff. So,
Right.
yeah, I mean, so they do both. I mean, I think they like both. So, all right, so this is what I'm going to do. Tonight I'm going to go to Hal's.
Well, that's a big shock. You're
Yeah,
going to go to Hal's?
I'm going to Hal's for a little bit.
You have your own table there yet?
You know what? I have my place at the bar.
Okay, you
I
should.
do have my seat at the
deserve
bar. Yeah. And then I may head over to Salt City Kitchen. There's a girls' night out. Friday, I'm playing cards. Saturday, I'm going to go do a cardio blast in Midtown, get my little workout in. And I got to be on a diet because I've been, bad. And then I may head over to Wild Wings Saturday night for Band Exit in Dunwoody. Sunday, I'll be watching the Super Bowl at home. So that's what I'm doing. Deb Bowman she's at the Regent City Club, the Cocktail Club, every Wednesday from 7 to 10. On the 11th of February, she's doing Autry Mills Presents the Unplugged Concert Series, and that is in Johns Creek. She's doing a Valentine's Day at Savvy Provisions, and it's limited to 40 seats, so get online with that. DJ Vanessa Hunley tonight is at G's, and Sunday Fun Day Karaoke at G's as well. Johnny Perazzo is every night at Whiskey Mistress. Okay, so for Friday, Artisan Plastic Surgery is having Valentine's Day injection specials, $50 off Botox and 10% off Juvederm and all of that. So head on over to APS. Saturday, of course, Cardioblastic Body Design Personal Training in Midtown from 10 to 10:45. Come join me. And Band X is at Wild Wings in Dunwoody at 9:30. Now for Super Bowl, the #1 Super Bowl gathering is with Kenny's crew, Kenny Minette, at Huey Louie's in Sandy Springs. They're going to have free wings and free nachos from 5 to 6:30. Plenty of drink specials and square board entries starting at 5:30. There's going to be 2 boards, $5 a square. There's free valet parking starting at 2:30. The entire restaurant for the crew and friends. So that's Huey Louie's in Sandy Springs.
Free wings and free nachos?
Yeah. And then of course at Whiskey Mistress, they're doing their Super Bowl party, and their doors open at 5. Your Pie is selling pizzas for $5.10 for Super Bowl 51. And then what else is going on?
Park Tavern, starting at 12, there's going to be a Bloody Mary bar, mimosa bar, and that's play on the game on a 10-foot by 20-foot HD TV. Have fun. Cirque Daiquiri Bar and Grill at 3 p.m. It's free admission with RSVP, $5 Hennessy Ciroc daiquiris. Georgia Theater from 4:30 to 1 is the ultimate Super Bowl party. Hudson Grill, I hear, is going to be the Patriots hangout.
Right, in Sandy Springs is the Patriots meetup.
120 Tavern and Music Hall in Marietta is going to have 50-cent wings, $12.99 Miller Lite or Coors Light Towers, and New York Prime will be playing the game as well.
And I'm sure Davio's will too, or I'll have to pull Steve DiFilippo's hair or something. So looking ahead, we've got Rare Disease Day coming up. In Boston, it's February 28th, but here in Atlanta, it's February 17th. Don't forget, keep in mind that we're trying to give everybody all the information they need about what it means to live with a rare disease. And then next week we'll be talking Valentine's Day. The 18th is a Little Red Dress at Cosmopolitan Live, and on the 22nd, the Great Love Debate is back, and I will be sitting on that panel as well. So if you need any more information about what's going on, you can log on to juststeph.com, subscribe to Living Atlanta, and get all the things that you need, what's happening in and around town. Here's a big shout out to my Boston birthdays, Michelle Morton Hardy, Christine Cowan Novia, and Martha Winnett. Happy birthday, kids. Next week I got John Hyatt and Deb Bowman are in the studio. And coming up, I have in the next couple of weeks, Chef Henry Chandler from, Henry's Louisiana Grill.
Do they bring some food by for you?
I don't know. Well, Hal didn't.
It's only the right thing to do, Steph.
I know. Will you come back?
Anytime.
Yay!
Anytime.
All right. So check me out on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Just Steph1, and of course, I'll be on. I have on my pages, Living Atlanta and Just Steph. And listen, go Pats, go Falcons. Love you all. No, I love you all. Wishing you love, balance, and peace. Ciao, ciao, baby. Yay!
Awesome.
How'd I do with my football
You
stuff?
did good.
Yay.
You're ready to be an
Not
analyst,
bad.
Steph.
Yay.
You're ready to be an analyst.
I don't know. Sports is not my bag.
It's your second calling.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, I think we're good, right?
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's shut up. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank
Steph.
you for
Anytime.
coming.
Anytime.
I want to.
You
You
know
know what? I meant to take a book for you, one of my books, and I forgot.
That's all right.
That's all right. But I'll.
We'll be
Can I
back.
send it to the studio?
Yeah.